Hey fam, I want y'all to listen to this. I like this guy. I don't agree with everything that he says, but he cracks me up because he touches on things that a lot of us might not even be thinking about. I want y'all to listen to this.
A husband. Reason one, you're still eating snacks and food that you were eating when you were 9 years old. You're still eating Doritos, M&Ms, ice cream, Starburst, Fruit Loops. You're still a child and you haven't grown up yet. If you have soda in your refrigerator, that means you're drinking soda almost every day. And that's disgusting. And on top of that, if you have a kid, that means your kid is drinking soda all the time. That means he or she is going to have bad habits. And if a man takes over and say no soda in the refrigerator, he or she is going to be mad that this man done came in and took soda away from them. Two, if you aren't in the gym, aerobics class, spin class, hiking, if the only reasons you are outside of your house is to go to work, pick up kids or whatever, or go to the grocery store, you don't deserve a husband. If the last time you were in a gym was in PE class in 8th grade or when you graduated from high school because it was held in the gym, you do not deserve a husband. Three, and this is the most important one, if you have not been to therapy, you definitely do not deserve a husband. Do you realize how much trauma that you've been through in your childhood? Do you realize how much trauma that you've been through in your adulthood? Where do you think all those issues and memories are? If you haven't went to therapy, what kind of tools do you have to create boundaries with other traumatized people? So you're just gonna walk around traumatized for the rest of your life thinking that a man's supposed to come in and marry you? I don't think so. So these are the three things that is important for you to do if you actually want a man to marry you. And guess
What y'all think about that? Now I'm gonna tell you my opinion, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Number one, eating those snacks and stuff. He's right. I agree with him wholeheartedly. In this day and age and in this time and era, we know what's not good for us. We know that those food colorings and that sugar and them artificial colors and all that garbage that's in candy and stuff is horrible for us. And it does, I guess, bring immaturity to be eating candy and cookies and snacks all the time, because that is habits that we did create when we were children. And I started the bad habit of snacking when I was young. It did carry on into my adulthood. I actually just stopped eating candies like crazy. I want to say 7, 8 years ago, and I'm 55. I never thought of that as something immature. I thought of it as an addiction, because food is an addiction. And the habits that we create when we're young, we do carry them into our adulthood. So I don't think that you're not marriage material because of it, but I get his point. If you're going to be in a couple and you're going to have children together, you got to set good examples for your children. So I agree with him 100%. We know that's not healthy. These things cause cancer, cause you to be overweight, and obesity is a problem in our community. We are sick. I'm still struggling with getting my pounds off, off and on throughout my life, especially since my late 30s up until now. I've been struggling with gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight because of the bad habits that took place when I was a child. And so for us to grow up and then have our children eating like that, that's irresponsible, because we know that it's a struggle. It's irresponsible. So I agree with him. Number two, the gym, working out. It is important to move. It is. And as chunky as I am, I'm very active. You might not believe it, but I am. I don't like sitting around. I'm always going, moving. I like going for walks. And it's important to get that heart rate up to keep your pressure down. So what he's saying is extremely important, because who wants to be with a partner that's sick? Praise God, I've never suffered from diabetes or anything like that. My pressure had gone up a couple of times, but I'm not a medicine taker. I hate medicine. And so my pressure going up, guess what? I'm going to stop eating that salt. I was hooked on Lay's potato chips. And to be honest with y'all, what he was saying about the junk food, when I was still getting my period, I had horrible cravings. It's deeper than what he knows. Parasites and the demons we're feeding it when we eat like that. They crave it. So when you have parasites, they make you crave certain foods. So it's deeper than what he thinks. You know, some people have the knack for just cutting things off. My husband is like that. Once he says he's not going to do something, he doesn't do it. Some of us struggle with stuff. And so we have a harder time letting go of certain things. And I know when I used to get my period, my cravings were crazy. So I would just overindulge for like 2 weeks before. And then when it left, I was able to control myself. It was like a demonic force taking over me. I'm going to be honest with you. So I get what he's saying. And we don't want to pass down these horrible traditions to our children, because it is crazy to have soda in your refrigerator. That's one thing I didn't give my children. I didn't drink soda like that myself. That's one thing I didn't care for soda like that. But everybody has their addiction. Some of you probably looking at me like I'm crazy for eating. I used to eat Skittles, Starburst, all the stuff that man mentioned and more back then. Gummy bears, just all sorts of stuff. Crazy. And I killed that sugar monster years ago, but I still have the desire for those things every now and again. But the way I used to do it, no, I don't do it like that. And it's a struggle. So I get what he's saying. Nobody wants a sick partner. If you're going to be with somebody, I want to have a nice long life together. You want to be healthy. You don't want to be sitting in an emergency room with somebody because they're putting bad things in their body. So when somebody's right, they're right. Now, the last one, I have a little discrepancy with him. I know we're living in a time where people are applauding therapy. And I'm going to tell you the benefits of getting out the stuff that's in. It's like being sick and you vomit out that poison. So talking to someone is vomiting out that poison. It's getting that stuff off of your shoulders, releasing it. I did that on my knees with the Most High God. I don't need a therapist, but everybody's not the same. If you're not in a position in your spiritual life where you lean on the Most High like that, then I suppose a therapist would be best for you. But as for myself, I got my healing on my knees. I gave every problem and issue I had to the Lord. I cried out to him. I told him how I felt. I told him what I needed. And I cried and I forgave, because that's why a lot of us are carrying hurt and issues mentally, anxiety, because we don't forgive. People have done things to us. So when you go to a therapist, they're going to dig in there and they're going to go back to why you are the way you are, why you're so hurt, why you're so afraid, why you're so angry, why you're so depressed, because most likely you did not forgive the people who hurt you. So I agree with him. I think his way of speaking sometimes is a little, but guess what? I like hearing the truth rough. I'm not that person that pity pat and be like, you really shouldn't do that. Because everybody thinks that you got to sugarcoat everything. Sometimes we need to be punched in the face. Sometimes we need to be punched in the face. Because right is right and wrong is wrong. I accept truth wholeheartedly. I know my faults. I know my issues. When somebody is speaking truth, honey, I perk up because I'm with the truth, honey. I'm with the truth. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I thought this was funny. I've been watching him. His name is Mr. Let Go, as a matter of fact. There are topics that he discussed that I disagree with, and I'm going to tell y'all one of them. He has a tendency to seem to put the blame on women. I don't think he hates women, but he's calling us out on our ish, because we've been bashing men for years. And so I get it. We have a turn too, because we are not all that correct either. What he's been saying, though, as far as a single mom, he's saying we making our boys effeminate, and that we using our little boys as our little boyfriends and husbands. See, I've never had a son, so I don't know what that's like. My daughters both have sons. I see their connection with them. They're babies right now, but I see it's a little different, right? So they have to be mindful and careful, too, not to raise some mama's boy who doesn't know how to be a man and stand on his own 2 feet. And indeed, men need to be in the boy's life as well as the girl's life. He was saying stuff like, the parent that's present is the one that's to blame. Now that's baloney. Oscar Mayer baloney. Trying to be nice with my words. I had to get on his platform and say something to him. I told him, I said, the order of God is the man to be in place. A righteous brother in place, being the head of the house. When he is gone, the family is handicapped. You cannot put all the blame on a woman. Or because that woman's inhibitions were loose, and she jumped into bed with that man, guess what? He had loose inhibitions too, and he jumped into bed. So it takes two to create. So just because he's not there doesn't mean his absence doesn't affect that child. He is totally wrong on that. And God is going to hold that man accountable. So in that issue, I mean, in that topic, I take issue with him. But overall, a lot of the stuff he's saying is sensible and it makes a lot of sense. And so I just wanted y'all to hear that because he's funny because he's coming up with stuff that I never even really thought about. A lot of the stuff, yes, I'm with it because I'm all about our community being at its best. But that's coming from a righteous perspective because I know biblically what the Most High God expects of us. He wants us to be a family. He's all about family. He's all about family. That's how all of us got here. He arranged it so that when we make love, we procreate and make these beautiful children. It takes two to make them. It takes two to raise them and train them and care for them. And because that's not at the top of the list in our communities, we got a lot of mamas raising children alone. And then she gets all the blame. I'm not with that. Mama's not getting all the blame. Trust and believe. Our Heavenly Father is looking at daddy as well. Men supposed to be the stronger sex, right? They always running around talking about how strong they are and how we weak and how we are that. You're weak too, bruh. If you're not doing your part, if you whipping out your penis to insert it somewhere and you know you're not in love with that woman and you know you don't want a family with her, you are in the wrong. You're dead wrong. Your seed being spilled into that woman and you just walk off into the sunset. Nah. So his opinion on that is nah. He's dead wrong on that. You don't get to say, oh, you single, you opening up your legs, you must want a baby. Well, you getting in between them legs, you must want a baby, sir, because guess what? The seed comes from you. So when you're spilling that into that woman, you must want a baby. But the problem is that man gets to walk off. So women have to be smart because we are going to be the one, as I said in another video, holding the bag. We are going to be the ones blamed for those children not coming out right. When overall, the Most High God is looking down at that brother as well. He was the one that he commissioned to be the leader, protector, and provider for his family. So when he walks off into the sunset and think it's okay and running around making all these women pregnant, that ain't no righteous brother. Dead wrong. He's Satan's son. So his opinion on that, nah, I disagree with that, honey. I get biblical principles. That's how I'm living. And this is the stuff I share with y'all because I love my people. And our communities are a mess because we are disobedient unto our Father. Peace, love, and blessings, family.